Let me request Dr. Sheila to come over the dais and Dr. Shashi Tandon to come over the dais and garland Dr. Sheila. Dr. Sheila is a very young scientist, ocean scientist. He has been associated with the Oceanography Institute of Goa and is basically trained in Archaeological Survey of India and doing a lot of work on our coasts, discovering material from sea. Of course, we are doing it from land, but he is doing on from the sea. He is very well published nationally and internationally. And today he is talking about traditional boats of Odisha and navigation. Dr. Sheila. Sir, please stick to your time.
Namaskar. Professor Handaji, Professor Agrawal, Dr. Jeevan and my friends and fellow delegates. See, it is told that the seafarers were much older than the farmers and potters, because the history shows that people had crossed the seas for various purposes, probably for fishing or for river crossing or for crossing the land, plus minus around 60,000 years back. See, traditional, when we talk about a traditional boat, it should be manufactured by hand, and we should use the available local traditions and tools, and instead of motorizing things, we should use prevailing wind and current condition. The earliest evidence of craft in India goes to Stone Age, that is probably Mesolithic in Kaimur Hills in Madhya Pradesh, probably 8,000 years BC. Okay. Here you see, here a man, we do not know what kind of timber they were using and what was their endurance, but on the rock art we can see that, see here two persons, he is holding a oar and he is holding one pole. Here again the same activities. Here you can see it looks like a fish. That means he is fishing. Okay, we have these kind of evidences from the rock art. But in addition to, if we will go to maritime activity, the earliest date goes to Harappan period, and it is sure that the Harappans were going to Sumerian and Egyptian countries by coastal hugging. And probably the Indians who discovered the monsoon bin. Earlier it is told that Hippolus in 41 AD or 45 BT he has discovered the monsoon bin, and almost every literature and publications we will find that Hippolus discovered monsoon bin. But the present study based on archaeological findings and available traditional, festivals and knowledge, we can say that Indians are the real first users of monsoon wind. It is not the Hippolus. There are a number of regions are also there. And from Harappan period, we can see that these are the different kind of boats were used. This is on the, okay. And in traditional knowledge shipping, the shipping, ship and shipbuilding plays a very important role. And as I had told you that the earliest days goes to 60,000 years. And in West Coast, during Harappan period, but if you come to the East Coast, Bay of Bengal, 2100 BC, because Golbai is a site very close to the Chilika Lake, where during excavation they have found shark teeth. And shark fish lives generally in the sea, neither in the brackish water or fresh water. And Indian mariners had the knowledge on wind, sea, current patterns, and it is very well known to all of us. There were 4 tides. So if we will take into if the Lothal Dock, which was excavated by Dr. Rao under ASI, so that the boats were coming to Lothal Dock, if it was a dock, then during high tide times. And even they had the traditional mariners, they confirmed the weather conditions and the behavior of the marine animals and fishes, and sometimes they see the flow of wind as well as the behavior of other sea animals. And this traditional boat building knowledge has passed from father to son. There are no written records, and it has been, it is going on from generation to generation. These traditional boats, if you will see in Indian subcontinent, ये नहीं चलता है क्या? ठीक है, हम ऊपर जाने का. हाँ, ये और एक है. Yes. You see, these traditional boats exist along the Indian coast based on the topography of the sea and geomorphology. The boats what we see in the Gujarat coast, we won't find in the east coast of India or in the Odisha coast. Okay, and the boats of Kerala, you won't find in Gujarat coast. There are a few type of boats we will find along the west coast as well as the east coast. Those are called catamarans or nauka type thing. And coming to the representation of boats along the Indian art, we have 33 evidences which are from historical period to up to 17th, 18th centuries. And these are the representations of watercraft in Panchamark coin, which has been found from West Bengal. These are the Satavahana dynasty coins. This is from Tamil Nadu, Alangankulam excavation. It is a Roman vessel. This is also from West Bengal, Tamralavati transportation of horse. This is the Sanchistupa, the first evidences of plank-built boat. Here, Professor Sonavane of MS University, they had found a rock painting, which is also traditional boat of present day of Gujarat, is around 15th century AD. This is the from Ajanta paintings, 2nd century BC to 5th century BC onwards. Here the first evidences of transportation of pottery on the boat. This is from Bihar, crossing of river Ganga by Rama, Lakshmana and Sita. This is transportation of elephants from a temple of Bhubaneswar. And here you will see, this is from Tamil Nadu, how this shows the contact of our India as well as Persian Gulf countries. They were bringing horses and other animals. If you will come, see in Orissa there are generally we find 4 type of boats. This Padahu are what we call Masula boats. It starts from Tamil Nadu, Andhra and Odisha coast. It is, we can find this Padahu up to Chilika. And in Chilika, this is the Chilika Lake. There, it is one of the biggest lake in Asia. It is 61 kilometers in length and 15 to 20 kilometers in width. Inside the lake, we find one particular kind of plank boat called Nauka, and these are the catamarans, which is prevalent from Paradip up to our Kerala coast. And here there is a interesting type of boat, is a clinker boat. It is found from river Suvarnarekha in district Baleswar up to West Bengal and Bangladesh. So we are having the evidences of boats from the both foreign scholars, and Dr. R.K. Mukherjee has written the first book on Indian shipping in 1912. Till today, this book has been considered as the best book those who are working on the maritime activities or maritime trade of India. And in coming to this sources of literature from Odisha, here in Dhatadhat Vansha, it is mentioned that a boat of Kalinga, that is Odisha, has sailed up to Sri Lanka, which was carried the tooth relic of Buddha, and it was built with swan ropes and bell rigged. There is another literature in Odisha, Prastava Sindhu, mentions about the type of boats, and similarly in Puri Jagannath temple and Konark temple we will have the evidences of traditional boats. This is the boat called Nauka, which is prevalent in Chilica, and these are no decks. Here the planks are, the lowermost plank is first laid on, then there will be no cabins because the depth of Chilica lake is very limited. So instead, to avoid any kind of casualties, it is not possible to mount the decks, and these are used both in the coastal waters, very near shore zone, as well as inside the lake, and both for fishing and pleasure trips. This is another type of boat which we found in the southern coast of Orissa called Masulas or Padhaus. They go up to 15 to 20 fathoms of water depth, and around 5 to 6 people are engaged in this one, engaged in this boat for fishing. And during European period, these vessels has played a major role for transporting of cargo from the mothership to the land. And this Padhau or Masulas, we can see from Orissa coast to up to Tamil Nadu coast. These are the Patia boats. Is a clinker technology, reverse type of clinker technology boat building system, and is found in the northern coast of Orissa as well as West Bengal and Bangladesh. But the same kind of clinker boat is found in European countries, but in terms of construction, those are different. And in Puri Jagannath temple, there is the earliest representation of clinker boat building, and this is from Konark temple. This is catamarans. As I was telling that this use of knowledge of wind and current, when the southwest monsoon comes, the mariners of India were returning from the Southeast Asian countries as well as from the Roman countries, and when the northeast wind blows during the month of this October and November, okay, the mariners of east coast of India, they start from West Bengal and Tamralipti region. They were making coastal hugging, and there were some evidences that the ports, people of Orissa were coming directly to in Indonesia and to other parts of Southeast Asia. But if not, they were coming to up to Tamil Nadu, then they were going to Sri Lanka, then they were coming to Southeast Asia. Because as Professor Vibha Tripathi was talking about, presenting in her paper that pottery, northern black polished pottery and all those things, all along the Indian coast, starting from West Bengal to Tamil Nadu and Sri Lanka, we find one kind of pottery that is NBP. In the later period, there is another type of pottery called rouletted ware, which is not only found in all over Indian coast. It has been reported from maximum parts of Southeast Asia and the Persian Gulf countries and Red Sea coast. So those are the potteries of Indian origin, and if those potteries are found in other parts during same time, that time Hippolus was not there in the literature. These are the navigation system. As I was telling, the trade route. And why it is important, see that we can reconstruct the maritime trade. And it is essential that if we have a sort of energy, the wind system or wind force can be taken into account for construction of the maritime history as well as natural resources. Thank you. Yeah. Any questions? Yeah.
Is that correct that Odisha was having maritime navigation right up to Vietnam and all the Indonesian islands? So you didn't talk about it. No, because that's
the earliest evidence in the east coast of India, no doubt, if you see the maritime history of our Indian country itself, Harappans were the first mariners which are datable to 5,000 years ago, plus minus. But coming to the east coast of India, based on the archaeological evidences, it goes to 5th to 4th century BC. The recent excavations in Thailand and the pottery what we found in the east coast, Andhra, Karnataka, Andhra, Tamil Nadu, Odisha and West Bengal. Okay, those are also datable to 4th, 5th century BC.
Another important export was Vedic religion to Bali and all these places.
Recently, I will tell you the thing, this one. Whenever we talk about the maritime trade, we tell that our religion or our tradition has gone to Southeast Asia. There are three things are involved in this thing. First one is Hinduism, then Buddhism, then Islamic. Islamic reached in Southeast Asia after 9th century AD. Buddhism, the earliest evidence so far today is 4th, 5th century AD. Prior to that, Hinduism. Okay. So we do not know. Suppose if we will talk about in Bali, in the government of Odisha, next month there will be a Kartika Purnima.
Sheila, you have to cut short because, time.
Okay, sir, we can discuss and I can send you my publications.
Yeah, there is one more question coming up, please.
Boats, which is interesting because we know the Cholas, they made an empire and their army conquered the Indonesian islands. Perhaps they carried, their entire army using boat. So do we have any archaeological or literary evidence regarding the constitution of the boats or ships that was used in the navy, Chola navy?
Chola period? Mm-hmm. Yeah, in Chola period we had a well-developed knowledge, technology and knowledge of boat building.
I see.
Yeah, very much. But I am talking about the second, that Golawai 2100 BC, the people who had gone into the Chilika, then to the Bay of Bengal for fishing.
No,
That's
because
Arctic.
I have a point, because the European countries are pretty advanced in navies, as big if you go back to 13th or 14th century. Can you compare them to the Cholas, and we can have some idea about this technology?
See, the earliest, if we will see the rock edicts of King Asoka had issued a marine rock edict.